Yo, what is going on, guys? Membro here, back at it with another college football weekly podcast. We are now in week 2. I just want to go over a few quick little takeaways here from a few of the games that we had in week 2. Overall, a pretty exciting week. I think this week was a bit better than last week because they're just more close games, honestly. Texas and Michigan, this was supposed to be, this is the biggest matchup. Maybe, you could even consider maybe of the year. I mean, obviously, it will depend on how things turn out in conference play and everything with that. Two of the biggest teams from the SEC and the Big Ten. Texas coming into this looked at as the better team, but Michigan, they were in the big house. And honestly, I thought Michigan was would be able to grind out this game. They were in the big house. They'd have that advantage. Their defense would play, pretty good and keep them in the game. Boy, was I wrong. Yeah. The Michigan defense, even we can start with the defense, because I think that's okay. It's just that side of the ball was more of just Texas being that good. And I'll get into that with Texas being this good. Really, Texas being this good, Michigan's defense not being as good as last year, and they were getting bullied on the line of scrimmage. Just bullied around. Texas was getting consistent 5-6 yard gains every single time. I look up, they have another first down. They're 10 more yards down the field. Going to the offensive side, the Michigan Wolverines offensive side, they need a quarterback. This 2 quarterback system is not working at all. They really miss JJ McCarthy there. It's obvious. Really, we'll see how they adjust, but the whole, if they have a really bad season this year, the whole cheating allegations is gonna be ramping up again, I feel like. People are comparing this team to the 2020 LSU team where, 2019, that dominant 15-0 run, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, all those guys, they all leave for the NFL. Next year, 2020 LSU is garbage. I think this is kind of the same type of deal, honestly. Michigan a bit overrated here. I don't see them beating Ohio State. You look at an Oregon game, that will be more interesting because Oregon is also looking pretty shaky as well. But Michigan's going to have to be very careful going the rest of the way. I don't see them winning the Big Ten at this point. Getting into Texas, though, Quinn Ewers looked very good today. That offensive line, I wouldn't have thought, the Texas offensive line, the Texas defensive line would be, beating a Michigan line. Michigan lines have been so good for a while now. They've been top class. And that Texas offensive line looked insane. They were pushing back every single time down the field. Again, every run was like 5-6 yards. And when I see the offensive line like that for Texas, and I see the talent that Texas has, the defense holding it down, my goodness, the defense was good as well. I'm starting to think the Texas Longhorns, obviously they're really back at this point, and this might be a championship year for Texas. It's going to be very interesting to see how it all pans out in the SEC. Obviously, they haven't played an SEC opponent yet, but I think them and Georgia, man, they have to be the favorites. And we're going to get to the AP poll in a bit, but you look at all the teams, it's Georgia, it's Texas, it's probably Ohio State, and then everyone else at this point in terms of getting a championship. Because Texas, we see they, battle tested, and Ohio State and Georgia, we know the talent they have. We know what to expect with them. Especially with Ohio State, this has to be their year in the Big Ten. You look at what Michigan is this year. You look at Oregon and Penn State struggling in their early games. This has to be Ohio State's year to win the Big Ten. To get a high seed in the college football playoff. Tennessee and NC State. This was, I think kind of a primetime game for ESPN ABC. Tennessee dominated. Their defense actually played very well, and that Tennessee offense led by Nico, man, they're good. So they look legit. As far as, are they going to be able to beat your I don't have their schedule off the top of my head, but your Georgias, your Texases, your Alabamas, we'll see. your Ole Misses too. But they look very good. They look very good. Back to being, potentially back to being that Tennessee that we saw, I think, a couple years ago. Another big game was Northern Illinois and Notre Dame. Now, Notre Dame coming off a huge win against Texas A&M. They went into College Station, beat Texas A&M, big grinded out game. People are looking at Notre Dame, hey, look, man, they could go all the way to the playoff this year. You look at their schedule, they don't have a super tough game till maybe like USC, stuff like that. And then they turn around, they have NIU at home, and they just struggle, man. That offense looked awful for Notre Dame. Riley Leonard throws an interception with 4 minutes remaining. That basically gives the game to NIU. They hit the winning field goal. Shout out to NIU, man. Maction is showing up right there. Another MAC team, Bowling Green, was almost, they were ahead of Penn. I want to look up the box score real quick, but they were ahead of Penn State like 17-7 or something like that. NIU gets the win. The Huskies beat Notre Dame. This Notre Dame team, you get such a big signature win against Texas A&M, and you followed up with this. It's just embarrassing, dude. It's embarrassing for Notre Dame. This program, a lot of people are definitely questioning Marcus Freeman. For me personally, I think a lot of people I just don't see the intensity there to get Notre Dame. They have all the talent. They should be blowing out Northern Illinois. They should be blowing out the Huskies. You're coming into this, the 5th ranked team in the country. This is supposed to be a cakewalk. This is your home opener. As I mentioned before, Penn State and Oregon surviving scares. The Penn State one especially was really what's going on here? It's Bowling Green, and you guys are down big. They were able to come back. Oregon looked, that offense, I was watching the Oregon game pretty closely. That offensive line is horrible. It seemed like nearly every single time they got a big play, a big run, it's a holding. They're letting in all these sacks. They've let in more sacks through 2 games compared to the entire season last year. And seeing the offense struggle like it did, I was, it's just not used to seeing an Oregon offense struggle like it has so far. The expectation's so high. The hype around the Ducks was huge this year. Again, I going into it, I saw the Ducks, and I say, okay, yeah, they got the talent everywhere. No, I don't think Dylan Gabriel is as good as Bo Nix, but considering the receiving talent, all the talent that they have, they got Jordan James, they got Nolan Whittingham, the defense stacked. I thought they were going to be able to get through these games then their test would come in against Ohio State and Michigan. And overall for the Big Ten, Iowa lost too. They seem like a bunch of frauds. The only team in the Big Ten having a good first 2 weeks has been Ohio State, and they haven't really been tested much to begin with. Another big team struggling was Alabama. So they present the field to Nick Saban. It's like Nick Saban field, and they go out and they really struggle against USF. The score is not representative of the game, really. For some reason, Alabama always struggles against USF. I bet Nick Saban was not very happy by the way the team was performing on his kind of namesake day kind of thing. Other games around the country, Utah grinded out a win without Cam Rising, grinded out a win against Baylor. That Baylor offense is atrocious, man. The Baylor Bears have really fallen off, and Dave Aranda might be in some real trouble and on the hot seat, especially by the way this offense is looking. Other Big 12 teams to be noted, Oklahoma State winning in double overtime against Arkansas. They were able to come back. Ollie Gordon, I believe, got the winning touchdown. Oklahoma State, big win for them. Arizona State, they were up 30-3 against Mississippi State. Mississippi State was able to come back, and that was a really kind of nerve-wracking game. That outscored Arizona State 20-3 in the second half, but they were able to hold on. Cam Scatabo played amazing, man. That dude played crazy. 250-plus yards rushing. He was a beast. They can just kind of ride on him. And Arizona State, they actually look kind of decent so far in their first few games. They have Texas State next. We'll see. And finally, one other point, Nebraska and Colorado. Dylan Raiola being a Patrick Mahomes clone, he played really well out there. On the other side for Colorado, they completely imploded. You see on the sideline, Travis Hunter freaking out, complaining, whining, really throwing a fit on the sideline. Then you have Shedeur Sanders. He's out there leaving the game. He's getting sacked, playing horrible, throwing pick six. Then he leaves the game with 2 minutes remaining. Just a really bad look. And then you go to this post-game interview with the, just leadership question marks for Shedeur Sanders. On the other side, Nebraska, they're looking pretty good. I saw this one tweet like, hey, if they they can win out until they get to like Ohio State and they just keep winning and winning. We'll see if Dylan Raiola is the real deal. It's kind of funny how he likes to be a Patrick Mahomes clone, but it's kind of working out for him so far. Let's go to the AP poll now. Texas looks like they jump Ohio State. That's deserved. I think you can make an argument Texas should be number 1, but I get Georgia's number 1. Okay. Alabama's still at number 4 after kind of struggling against USF. Ole Miss there. Missouri jumps up. They had a good first two games, and that makes, I have a good feeling about them after seeing those first 2 games. I picked them to make it to the SEC championship game because they actually have a bit of an easier schedule compared to some other SEC teams. Then you have Tennessee at number 7. Penn State and Oregon still in the top 10 after struggling. I think you should put Miami ahead of them, USC ahead of them, Utah ahead of them, even Oklahoma State and Kansas State ahead of the both of Penn State and Oregon. You got Oklahoma at number 15. LSU sitting at 16. I don't think they're really as good. They play a cupcake game this time around. So then we have Michigan and Notre Dame dropping to 17 and 18. That feels about right. Then we got Louisville, Arizona being carried right now by McMillan, that receiver, insane. Then we have Iowa State with their big last-second field goal win against Iowa. That's good. Clemson, I don't think they should be in the top 25, honestly. I mean, I don't care if they're 1-1, man. They just look that bad against Georgia. Nebraska making it into the top 25. That's big. Boston College, number 24. I think you should put Syracuse, maybe, replace Clemson with Syracuse, honestly. And then NIU gets number 25 for beating Notre Dame. Honestly, I'm a fan of head-to-head kind of comparisons. Put NIU above Notre Dame. They got the head-to-head victory. I don't care if Notre Dame went to College Station. Give NIU the head-to-head victory win. If you go down here, I think we can see other teams that got votes. Illinois, they had a big-time win as well. Boise State getting votes for playing Oregon so tough. Honestly, respect that. They went into Autzen Stadium. Autzen Stadium, one of the longest home win streaks, and they almost beat them. They were this close to beating Oregon in Autzen. Then you have Texas A&M. Syracuse, you could put a Memphis, a Washington, I think, in over your Clemsons and maybe even your Notre Dames here. Overall, okay, AP poll. You look at the AP poll, SEC teams, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 SEC teams in the top 10. I think this is going to be just a regular, honestly, because the SEC is so stacked. I'm very interested to see this 12-team playoff, how it shakes out. How many SEC teams are going to get in? We know at least 2 or 3. Would it be like 5 SEC? Are they going to take up all the spots, all the open spots? Because it looks that way. I mean, so far, a lot of these SEC teams, to be fair, are playing cupcake schedules. To begin with, your Tennessees, your Ole Misses, Alabama, playing cupcake schedules, while you have, Texas going to Michigan, Oregon playing a Boise State team that's pretty good, Miami playing at Florida, some of these USC scheduling LSU scheduled USC, but USC is really impressed so far as well. I think maybe the reason why Utah drops is because of the Cam Rising injury. I mean, that's kind of interesting, but I think you put USC, Utah, Oklahoma State above Penn State and Oregon. Just punish them for how bad they looked. But I think that's gonna do it. I'm gonna go back real quick here. Oh, I like this tweet right here. Is Texas back? Is Nebraska back? Is Miami back? Are the 90s back? Yeah, shoot, even Syracuse is good. Yeah, it's kind of cool to see these old big brand names coming back. Texas, Nebraska, and Miami especially. If they can have runs, that would be really cool to see, Nebraska and Miami have runs. But overall, through 2 weeks, I think you got to say Texas is your national champion pick. They look that good. Quinn Ewers looking that good, that composed, that offensive line especially the big standout for me. Let me know, do you guys agree with these AP rankings right here? What would you change? You can also let me know what other specific things you want me to cover from week to week here for the College Football Weekly podcast. Thank you guys all for watching and listening. Make sure to subscribe. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. The goal is to get there by the end of the year. So if you are enjoying the podcasts and the edits, make sure to go down and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.